What's up? What's up? If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm not going on camera today because I've been with the car all day. So, welcome if you're new to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you are a Patreon, welcome Patreons. If you are a member, welcome members, welcome subs, welcome everyone in between. And how you guys doing today? I hope everyone's doing good. I did not even see the festivities today. I will, Quinny. I did not even see the festivities today because I was out from 8 o'clock this morning fixing Sage's car with a friend of mine. So I try to catch up on stuff when I got home, but I didn't get home till like 4:30. So I didn't even check Discord. I have no idea what's going on. But there are a couple things. I'm kind of in my feelies right now, and a couple things I want to start with. First thing I want to start with is for the ladies. You know how they always say, that if you want a guy to marry you, you can't give away the horse for free. You can't give away, whatever for free. I'm starting to think that applies to YouTube. And I'm being really honest with you guys. The reason I say that is I see so many channels say stuff that I've already said, that I said days ago. And people act like that's the first time they're hearing it. I mean, not my people, I'm saying in general. And these people get 20,000 views, and everyone sits there like, wow, that's so true. And I'm like, I said that like 5 days ago. And I sit there and I try to analyze them and I watch them and I said, what are they doing that I'm not? Like, why are people listening to them and not me overall? So I started going through some videos. And what is consistent, they don't look at chat. They don't acknowledge chat. They don't answer anyone's questions because they're too good. And I understand if someone's on a cell phone is way harder to acknowledge chat because it flies. But when you're on a computer, which a lot of them are, when you're on a computer, it goes by much slower. And it's attainable, even with 2,000 people in there. It's much more attainable. So I also say, what are they doing? Well, one of the things they do, which I also do, but I kind of swayed from it, and I think it hurt me, was if you want access to them personally, you support them on Patreon. And I've always done that and said that, but then I falter. And I'll talk to, hey, Briss, I'm glad you're here too. Then I'll falter and I'll talk to anybody. So I have to get back to what made me do this in the first place before I get burnt out, why I want to be here in the first place before I get burnt out, and before I get frustrated. So if you guys see me starting to make a few changes, it's not personal. There are people that I've talked to for 3 years. I'm not cutting you off, but I do need to make some serious changes if I'm not going to get burnt out on YouTube. And the only thing I can do, hey, Purple Knights, the only thing I can do is watch what big creators do and follow their pattern. And in order to do that, you have to kind of study their patterns. And every single one of them consistently do the exact same things. And I'm not doing that. So, like I said, if you see certain things changing, I haven't changed, but I am trying to save myself from getting burnt out and and frustrated and everything else. Because, like I said, what's really frustrating, well, thanks, Janessa. What's really frustrating for me is what happened earlier, that things I said 5 days ago, somebody else comes out with it today, and it's like people are in awe. Okay. And I see that happen a lot. And a lot of people come to me and tell me they see that happen a lot. And I just don't get it. Hey, Ladybud. And I just don't get it. because I'm like, okay. So moving on, I had to get my little feelies out. Sometimes you get stuck in your little feelies. And after hearing that, I got stuck on my little feelies. Rose, I agree with you. But big creators that really like grow and grow and grow and grow, don't really look at chat. And they tell you if you want to talk to them, join Patreon. And they did that from the beginning. And I started with that. And then I falter. I can't falter. I have to stick to my guns. And I have to grow. And in order to grow, you have to do certain things. I saw that and said it only took Laura calling him out before they all jumped. Okay. Let me also say, hey, Reagan, let me also say this. Nobody should have their channel taken down. Nobody. Quinny, I never acknowledge you. Texas girl, I never acknowledge. I'm just kidding. Hey, Grandma Rose. Nobody should have their channel taken down for no reason. They just shouldn't. But there are so many misconceptions about why a channel gets taken down that I really wanted to give you guys some facts. I really want to give you guys some proper information instead of a lot of misinformation. In order to mass flag a channel for it to get taken down, you could have 10 million people mass flag you. If your content shouldn't be taken down, it's not going to be taken down. Hey, Val, doesn't matter. Hey, Kim, doesn't matter how many people mass flag you. And that comes straight from Google. So when I see people say, oh, they were mass flagged means nothing. I've been mass flagged 100 times. I'm still here. Knock on wood. But the thing that people don't realize, and this is why I've never done it, and this is why I don't really believe in taking channels down, although I'm not going to cry that certain channels were taken down. But the reason why I don't really believe in it, because there's other platforms, whether it's somebody, you come down on YouTube, okay, so you start another channel. You come down on YouTube, or you go to Facebook. You come down on YouTube, you go to Twitch. There's a million platforms for Chris to go, including starting another channel. I don't think he would start another channel, but he would go to, Facebook or Twitch or privately or Patreon or whatever. So to take down that channel, you're only giving them more support. That's one of the main reasons I don't believe in taking down channels. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of headache. Who fucking cares? But like I said, I'm not going to cry that certain channels were down because good. There seems to be this confusion that Benny Keys has something to do with it. Benny Keys has nothing to do with anything. He's trying to take credit for that Twitter account that's not him. He's trying to take credit for things that he had nothing to do with. He has nothing to do with Chris being taken down. And, could he have reported Chris? Yeah, he could have. But Benny doesn't have the power for anybody to even look at them, like for real. That's why YouTube needs to ban once terminated by IP ad. Well, Quinny, I had a channel taken down, and I have 3 channels, and YouTube knows about my channels. I was taken down falsely, but they gave me an answer immediately. But they know I have a channel. I've spoken to them, like when I had an issue and stuff. And I am all my not super chat, all my AdSense all goes to my main account, which I've had since jump. So YouTube can see who's, been terminated. Most of the time, they just don't care. He already has his website and Discord. That's what I'm saying. There's a million other platforms that he can use that he doesn't need to worry about, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. There are over 350 million channels on YouTube to choose from. If you don't like one, don't watch it, and you have a lot of choices. I absolutely agree with that, K9. I have been preaching that from day one. From day one, that if you don't like somebody, then don't watch them. To put the time, hey, Rosa, to put the time, hey, Sissy, into bringing someone down just shows how jealous you are. Welcome, Brissa. It just shows how jealous and insecure you are. That's the other reason why I've never taken someone down or try to take someone down. I may talk shit. My other channel, I've talked a lot of shit. How I got this one demonetized. I got that. I have never even reported them, let alone get them demonetized. But as a YouTuber, sometimes you want to talk some shit. And I have. And some people believed it, some people didn't. But the bottom line is, I'm too lazy to fucking report people. I don't care that much. And I know I'm not the norm. I mean, have I ever reported people? Yeah, rightfully so. I had every right to. But a Google user, I know. I'm getting to all that. We're not there yet. So I don't have a time to report. Like, to me, it's a waste of time because, like I said, they're going to go elsewhere. But Google or YouTube will take you down if people report you, and it only takes one report. But if someone reports you, or from what I was told, a lawyer can get you down immediately. Like Gray Hughes, he works with a lawyer on YouTube. If somebody tried to take him down, or he was going after somebody, let's say, all his lawyer would have to do is contact YouTube, and that person would most likely be down. So I used to have true crime. I did. But I can try it. Took me a minute to yeah, I'm not in the algorithm. I'm not. I don't know why, but I'm not. And I'm like slowly building. Hey, who's your daddy? Who's your daddy's been with me from jump. Why is it taken down? That's what I'm getting at. All it takes is one person to trigger a manual review by YouTube to say, is this bullying? Is this a reaction video? Are you responding, or are you straight up bullying somebody? I would guarantee that if I reported some of these channels for bullying, I could have taken a bunch of channels down. Straight up harassment and bullying. But I've never done it because it's just not worth my time. And nobody really affected me that much that I would want to. But what Interview Room was, I just use Gray as an example. What the Interview Room did was blatantly harass an innocent person. Not only did they harass, but they even changed documentation to put up what's the word I'm looking for? To put a label on this person's back and put this person in danger. Don't be surprised if Jamie, the one that people went to his house with a gun, got Interview Room taken down. Don't be surprised if that happened. Hey, Nikki. And he told people to go after him. I do use keywords and all that. I'll try differently. I will. I just I'm not shocked that he was taken down. I'm not surprised that he was taken down. The only thing that I am surprised about with it is that he did grow a channel really, really, really quickly. And he does make a lot of money for YouTube. But that really goes to show that, it doesn't matter if you have over 10,000 subs, or you have over 20,000 subs, or you have over 50,000 subs, or if you grow super quickly, or even if you're ex-law enforcement. If you go after somebody with no just cause, YouTube's going to take you down. Doesn't matter who the fuck you are. And I commend them for that. I am disgusted He was straight up doxing people. That's true too. No, it's not okay. That's probably why he was taken down. But not only was he doxing people, he put a target on this person's back, unwarranted. He had no evidence that this person was this person. He had no proof. What somebody told, no, I don't think it's over Summer Wells. I really think it had to do with this guy on Twitter. Now, I heard that the Twitter guy hired an attorney, and that's what got Chris shut down. I don't know if that's true or not, though. And it's not the first time he's done it. I agree. But the Twitter guy went on YouTube and, was going to go after him and told him, hey, come on my channel. And I guess Chris said no. Oh, it is true. Thank you, Google user. And I would love to talk to Nomadic Truck. I would love to hear his voice. That'll shut down, that immediately. But now we don't have to. But when you look at a track record of the things Chris has done over the course of, over the course of the last couple of months, it really makes you wonder, who cares if you got 75% conviction rate? How many of that convictions are actually innocent? I bet more than you think. And his narcissism is so blatantly obvious. If you watch, someone sent me his video of when he bought his RV, just the way he was going through the RV for the camera, it was sickening. I don't know if anybody else saw it. It was sickening. It was like I was watching a complete narcissist. And I hate to use that word, but there's just so many around here that it's disgusting. But I was watching this video, and the way he was talking and the way he was like, oh, well, tell everybody what's on the door, the 90th anniversary. Like, who cares? That's in all of them. I don't know. It just freaked me out. Nomadic Trek did prove who he was, but not see him. He don't know him anything. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Can you imagine the lawsuits if this innocent person was hurt? Now, I heard something else too. A millionaire homicide detective, Mike, my brother, said the same thing to me. And, I didn't think about it until I spoke to him about it. And let me put this in perspective for you guys. And this is really, really interesting. I want you to think about it. An average cop makes under $100,000 a year. And that's an average cop depending on where you live. I know like Suffolk County, Long Island, they max out around $150 for your average detective. New York City averages out at $50. Now, if you live in Suffolk County or the New York City or anywhere in the tri-state area, you're paying, $2,500 for a closet or $4,500 for a closet these days. So pay is going to go with how you live. Long Island is extremely expensive. Even if you bought a house years ago, it's still very high cost of living. Oceanside, where Chris was a police officer, is higher than New York. It's extremely expensive. So tell me where your average detective even maxed out. Let me look something up here. Hold on one second. I don't want to give false information. Bear with me. Okay. Detective annual salary in Oceanside, California is $42,000 a year. Okay. No, not Oceanside, Long Island. Chris was a homicide detective in California, in Oceanside. We know that from the Michael Crow case. So your average salary of a detective is $42,000. Let's say he was even higher. Let's say he was the absolute highest you can be in California. Let's say he was what's the highest level of a cop? What's the highest level? Not a chief. Oh my God, my brother would slap me. What's the highest? The highest you can be? Sergeant. Thank you. 83,000 a year. The average police sergeant salary in Oceanside, California is 83,000 a year. Now, the police chief makes 229,000 a year. That's the police chief. Oh, I got a whole list. Police captain makes 174,000 a year. Police lieutenant 151,000 a year. So those are kind of comparable to, I'm getting to that, Kathy. Those are kind of comparable to Long Island salaries. My point being is Oceanside is also expensive to live. Let's double that and say there's $300,000, but he was never a police lieutenant. I'm just saying, let's say he was. Let's say him and his wife each made his average pay would be 100,000. Yeah. Not as a detective though. Only I'm just putting him higher just to give him, hey Sarah, the the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Award-winning journalist, so is Brian Enton, and he's 37. And so is JB. They're working for local news stations. They're not making that much money. That I looked it up. They're not making that much money. And they're also award-winning journalists. Actually, Brian Enton is an Emmy award-winning journalist. I don't know for what, but he is an Emmy award-winning journalist. So my point is, let's just say 100,000. His wife made 100,000. That's 200,000. He's not a millionaire. Unless he was a dirty cop, there's no way he could be a millionaire. So I look at Duty Ron, police off the cuff, and at first I made some comments. Hey, D, at first I made some comments about, people are mistaken because they really are doing this for money. And, and then when I started researching this path and I started realizing, yeah, they're doing this for money because they're not making millions on their retirements. I mean, I know Duty Ron's retirement only because my brother's a cop. So I know what his salary would be, his pension would be. And if he needs to make extra money on YouTube to live in Long Island, more power to him. I got no problem with it. But he seems honest about it. He reminds me of somebody that is a cop, was a cop, left the force for whatever reason, like most cops in New York City, left the force for whatever reason and came to YouTube, and he still wants to, live through being a cop or talk about it. He's just one of those people. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that that's just him. And if he wants to, use YouTube as a way to make money to help, with the pension, then so be it. And I should never judge. Thank you, Mike. I should never judge him for that because, I know his salary. I know what he retired with, not his personal, but New York City retirees, whatever. And, they make good money, but they're not millionaires. They make good money, not that they're rolling in the dough in retirement. Like, I don't believe that Duty Ron could go buy $120,000 RV. I just don't. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, I don't know if he has any kids or a wife or anything. I don't know anything about his personal life, but I don't think he can. So my point being is, where is Chris getting all this money hand over fist that people are talking that, he's basically a millionaire? I'm just wondering because there's no possible way he could be a millionaire unless he's a dirty cop. He's very narcissistic, so maybe it's possible. I don't know. Maybe he was a dirty cop. I would never put that on anybody because I have no idea. But I'm just saying something is not right here. So I got really, really sidetracked. But let me go back to what I was originally saying. And what he did to this innocent person, he should have never done. something like that in a situation like that, I'm sorry, but in my opinion, I put that together 0. I said, let's say they each made 100,000 a year. That's 200,000. Duty Ron donates money to different charities. He says he doesn't need it. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. I'm just saying, like, if he does donate it to different charities, more power to him. Gray does too, but Gray still helps. Gray still uses his income, and Gray's donated, I think, almost 40,000 this year, 30,000 this year. I think it was like 31,000 Gray has donated, I want to say this year alone, to charities. And he still does really, really well for himself. And it's impressive that he's able to, dish out that much money for charities and still pocket money. I think that's great. He does I really think it was like 30,000. That great. Maybe Chase and True told me that. But I do. I think it was like 31,000 Gray has donated already. So last night I went over to Gray and I said, Gray, what do you think of this other YouTuber? I want to know if I'm crazy or do you agree with what I'm saying? He said, no, I absolutely agree with you. I said, okay. I just wanted to, Alley Cat, you were there last night. So I don't want to drop any names. I just want to make sure that I wasn't crazy, that I'm not looking at this wrong. I'm not handling this wrong. Like, what he's doing is disgusting. We're in agreement on this. He said yes. And I said, okay, good. Because I know some people are not. And I see people kissing his ass and it blows my mind. And not that I need Gray's justification for anything, because I absolutely don't. But in a lot of ways, Gray and I are a lot alike. I have more of a personality and I'm cuter, but we really do think a lot alike. And I knew if he disagreed with me, I was like, all right, maybe I should reevaluate. But no, I do respect Gray's opinion on certain things. And that was one that, let me get a guy perspective. Let me see if I'm wrong. And then the next day, Gray, not Gray, Chris is gone. It makes me cringe. Not your Patsy. I totally agree. Totally agree. Because I don't feel like, some people feel they learned from him. But to be honest with you, I didn't hear anything that I didn't know or that I couldn't find from any other YouTuber. I'm sorry, I just didn't. And hi, Denise. I just found your show and loved it and immediately subscribed, and I'm a new member. I was going to say, I'm not Denise, so I'm not sure who you're talking about. Chris, I don't know if he's corrupt. I would never put that out there. I'm not Chris. I'm not going to blame innocent people, but I know that he can't be wrong. I know that, calling a cop corrupt, that's a heavy, heavy thing to put on someone. And I would never do that to an officer unless I know for sure they're corrupt. It's kind of like calling someone an abuser. If you don't know if someone's an abuser, 100% don't call him an abuser. So I would never say Chris is crooked because I don't know Chris. I don't know if he's crooked. I know the things that I've looked into, I find vile and disgusting. And I think what he's done to this guy on Twitter is vile and disgusting. But what's even more gross is that he won't even apologize. That's what's even more gross, that he has never apologized to this guy on Twitter. He just doubled down. Somebody told me, and I just read this right before I went live. Somebody left me a comment that said, okay, it's worse than you think. The travel advisor account that Chris accused the Nomadic Trek of Twitter of being is actually a tour guide who does not live in the States. He has other social media and reviews on TripAdvisor of actual hikes he's taken people on. Chris had someone change the script of a web page to prove the accounts were linked. Anyone can do it. It's not rocket science. I believe that. I absolutely believe that. I don't know who that person is. She left a comment on my video, But I do believe that Chris is that narcissistic that, hey, Robbie, that he would absolutely change a script or make it, somehow linked to prove him right because he will never want to be wrong. That to me is cause for termination. That to me, when you double down like that, and it reminded me of how he doubled down on Michael Crow, and it was horrible. It is the way he doubles down, and he never stopped. He just kept going on, and it just never stopped. He wouldn't admit he was wrong. He still won't admit he's wrong. To this day, he won't admit he's wrong about Michael Crow, even though there was a $7.5 million lawsuit. $7.5 million fucking dollars. The court said, Chris, you're wrong. And what was his answer? No, 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 I'm not wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, Chris. So you go and lie about it. Gotcha. Gotcha. Now I see the way you are. I just can't with that. It was awful. And who knows if Chris was like that with other people? We don't know. For all we know, he was like that with other people. It was disgusting. So I know that there are Chris lovers, and I know that there are people that think that Chris is the doggedy dog, and I'm not going to deny that. There are people that think I'm the doggedy dog. There are people that think Marissa's the doggedy dog. They think, Brian Enton is the dog. All right, Brian Enton is the man, but you guys know what I mean. Some people say Natasha Cooper is the doggedy dog. Stephanie Harlow. Everyone's got their own flavor for true crime. Everybody's got their go-to for true crime or whatever. So I don't have a problem with people kissing Sam's ass. I don't. Or, being devoted to him. What I find frustrating is, and, I just want to know what he's actually done on YouTube, because I see and hear a lot of comments about how much he's taught people. Okay, like what? What has he actually taught you that you couldn't look up online? I haven't seen anything, and I've watched him. I don't see anything that he's done that you can't take a 5-minute Google search to learn. I'm sorry, I just haven't. So if one of his followers, fans, whatever, can tell me what he's really actually done, I'm all ears. I was watching somebody before who made a really, really good point. No, he didn't buy subscribers. You can tell in the way his lives, you could tell the money he makes. He didn't buy subscribers. Buying subscribers is expensive. People think it's nothing. Believe me, it's expensive. I wouldn't do it. I can't afford it. You know what I find ironic and frustrating is see him talking about Brian's arrogance and ego and narcissism, but apparently, yeah, he has no insight. None at all. Because for an ex-cop, this goes to my next thing. For an ex-cop, for him to make him guilty already, you're placating your audience. One of the reasons I know that my channel has not grown the way I could make it grow by just catering to you guys instead of my own opinions, I would be triple where I am right now. But I can't do that. I can't do that for myself. I can't pretend to be something that I'm not, and I never will. I say things that may go against the general public, like what I'm about to say next, and that hurts me. A lot of people will go run to somebody. Welcome, Joe. A lot of people will go run to somebody. Hey, Goldie. Just because they agree with the things they're saying, which is normal. I'm saying this wrong, but I know it's in my head. But let me see if I can get this out right. You're going to go to a creator that, shares similar values with you and shares, similar thoughts. That's normal. But for me, I also want to go to a creator that questions me. or that I question. I want to go to exactly, naturopathy. I want to go to a creator that challenges me, that makes me think maybe I shouldn't think, I've never actually thought like that before, or I never looked at it like that before. I want to go to somebody that challenges me, that maybe could make me change my mind or something, or I agree with and it's against the grain. You know what I'm saying? Um, look, you can look, hold on, I missed that. You can look at the 3-minute video on Aussie Insider, and it shows you exactly how Sam changed Addy to say the Twitter. Oh, really? All right, I'll have to check that out. So, yeah, people seek out and find tribes. People seek out and find their tribes for community like flat earthers. You know it's ridiculous, but you find other things, other fringe people that make you feel connected or whatever. Well, yeah, hate bonding, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? I want to, for me personally, and I try to do this, it's very easy to go with the grain. It's very easy to say what everybody else is saying. But why? Stand on your own. Come up with your own views. It's why I don't like so many true crimers, because they don't have their own opinions. They're just regurgitating what everybody else is saying. And here I am screaming at the top of my lungs, hello, you can't do this, hello. And they, I have 300 and they have 5,000. And it just doesn't make sense to me. And I really mean that. It just doesn't make sense to me. Because that's why I love GH. He challenges us to think and he doesn't follow. Who's GH? Oh, Gray. I was like, who's GH? Tiffany is entitled to her opinion. I love Tiffany. She is absolutely entitled to her opinion. Molly is entitled to Molly's opinion. Just like Duty Ron is entitled to his opinion. And Police Off the Cuff are entitled to their opinion. And when Chris was here, Chris was entitled to his opinion. Everybody is entitled to their own opinions. It doesn't make one right or wrong. Just because I don't agree with somebody doesn't make their opinion wrong. And just because they don't agree with me doesn't make my opinion wrong. That's how I run my channel. But I just feel like, if one person walks away from one of my lives, you are challenged to yours. Thank you, Tracy. If one person walks away from my live thinking, you know what, I never thought of that, that's an excellent point, then I did my job. Then I absolutely did my job. I agree, Rosemary. This world would be boring if we all agreed. 100%. So I hear a lot of people, including the ex-police, hang him already. And I saw today, Duty Ron, I'm going to play this little part. Thank you, Mike. Mike, didn't you become a member before? Did I miss that? No, you were a member before. I thought you were. So, hold on. Let me get to my chat. All right. Oh, Joe was a member. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I see people all over the place hanging Brian already. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret that a lot of people don't know. And even about the parents. The parents, as much as it sucks for the general public, the parents do not owe the public anything. Anything. Brian Laundrie's parents owe us nothing, whether we like it or not. Their only concern is their son and their family. Like anybody else, that is their concern, is their family. We don't have to like it. But guess what? It's not our family. And people think that Brian Laundrie's parents owe us something. They don't owe us jack shit. They don't owe the media. They don't owe us. They are doing exactly what they should be doing. The Fifth Amendment right that we have. Do you know why that came into play? A lot of people automatically assume that it has to do with somebody being guilty. No, that is not why. And it's not even so much, and I looked this up, it's not even so much, hey, Debbie, about being into a, in a court of law, you're gonna, incriminate yourself. That's not even where it started from. The Fifth Amendment right was invented or came to be or came to pass, whatever way you want to put it, in order to avoid coercive questions. That is what the Fifth Amendment right is. To not be thrown off by coercive questioning. Brian Laundrie's parents know that a cop, a lawyer, a police officer, whoever is going to ask them coercive questioning and use a read technique that they need to keep their fucking mouth shut. Plain and simple. Look what's happening at Sister Spoke. People are camping outside her house. Exactly. There seems to also be some confusion about Brian being guilty or innocent. And I have news for you. Many innocent people run. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't believe that. But many, many innocent people run because they get scared. Taking the Fifth refers to invoking your Fifth Amendment constitutional right to remain silent due to coercive questioning. The actual law says no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or the military when in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject to the same offense twice, double jeopardy, of limb or life, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. So people, thank you, Jana. People need to realize the family is doing nothing wrong. Nothing. They are protecting themselves. We don't know what they know. We don't know if Brian committed the murder. Nobody should have him guilty already. That's not what our justice system is based on. That is not what our justice system is founded upon. And Brian has already been judge, jury, and executioner. People want to kill him already. People want to go to his house and shoot him with a gun. People want to destroy his life. They want to kill his family. His family is prisoners in their own home. That we know that their family did not fly to Wyoming and help kill Gabby. Therefore, the family has done nothing wrong and the public has made them prisoners in their own home. That is not fair and it's not right. Now, when I say people can't go there, like Molly going there yelling at them, we all get yelled at. We all get yelled, like people, yell at me. So I don't see anything wrong with, going there once in a blue moon. She's not there permanently. She didn't, make a fixture there. She went there. She brought some stuff there. She brought dirty laundry. It was actually pretty funny. I got no problem with that at all. I got no problem with Jays for Justice going or Brian Enton going or anybody else. But to make these people prisoners in their own home 24/7 is not fair. They did not kill Gabby. We don't even know what they know. And you know what? based on the constitutional rights. Oh, it's okay, Joe. I was like, who's Denise? I'm Laura. Based on our constitutional rights, the Laundries are doing the right thing. Should Brian have ran? No, he should not. But we don't know what Brian knows. And the fact that Brian is able to disappear off the face of the earth is mind-blowing. It's almost impressive, but it's absolutely fucking mind-blowing that Brian is able to evade police, FBI. The whole world is looking for him, and he's nowhere to be found. I hate to use the word impressive, but it's impressive. It really is fucking impressive. Now, I have not had a chance to confirm this, Lori, but I heard Molly say something about that his parents wouldn't give Gabby her stuff. Where did that come from? Does anyone know where? Like, was that said somewhere? Was that proven somewhere? Or was that just popular opinion of we believe that to be true? Because like I said, the last couple of days, I haven't followed it that closely because I've had other stuff going on. So maybe I missed something. But if someone could tell me if that was definitively proven or people just think that. Because I would imagine, okay, I heard it on Molly, so that's why I'm just not sure. I heard Molly say it at the house. I don't believe they put her stuff in storage either. My thought process, though, and I don't know if I'm right, I'm just guessing, that if they would go to their family, if they returned her stuff, then it's not like it has to be part of the investigation. And I don't believe they can return her stuff until the investigation is final. So I don't think it's their choice to return it. I think the FBI probably told them, do not get rid of anything in the house because something may be evidence, until Brian is found. That's a very strong possibility of what happened. I don't know if it's true, but it's possible. And it's more than likely that nothing leaves outside the house. But because they're not talking, we don't know if the FBI told them nothing get out, nothing. You can't leave anything, everything, we have to check everything. Maybe they need stuff of Gabby's. Maybe they might need it in future. I don't know. But I know in most cases, especially when the person's not caught, nothing can leave. You can't touch anything. You can't move anything. You can't send anything out. You can't send stuff through the mail. Because I would imagine a lawyer would say, just give me the stuff and I'll give it to them. Testing, exactly. So that's why I'm a little sketchy on that, because I wish the FBI would say something and kind of, we told them not to get rid of it. I also asked someone that I know from the FBI, hasn't written me back yet, but I sent him a letter and I said, you would know better than anybody, but is the FBI not putting a murder charge on Brian because they don't have it? Or does the FBI work differently? Yes, I'm going to play a clip from Duty Round. It's actually very small. It's just a small clip. And it's about John Walsh is the clip that I was going to play. And, I sit there and I think, you know what? Now you got me. Now I lost my train of thought. I totally forgot my train of thought. This is exactly why we have the Fifth Amendment. Exactly. I mean, they could play it through their attorney if they wanted to, but, send it to the attorney. But that's why I thought to myself, oh, that's what I was saying about the FBI. So I asked him, is the FBI, why aren't they putting a murder charge on him yet? I don't understand that. Why are they not putting, he's wanted for murder? Is it possible that he did not do this And if he did not do this, would the FBI still be looking for him due to ego? Or would the FBI keep their mouth shut and let the whole world think that he really did do this when we don't know? And I haven't heard back from him yet. He usually doesn't write me back immediately. We're not like besties. But I'll let you guys know as soon as he answers. They don't even have a cause of death. Well, I think they do, Joe. They just haven't released to the public. I just remember they owe us nothing. Absolutely nothing. Everybody seems to think the police and everybody owe us. They don't owe us jack shit. At a press conference, the reporter asked Gabby's family if they got her things back, and her father said no. Okay, but that could be because of the FBI. Yeah, that was my big question, because nobody seems to be able to answer it. I asked my brother, I asked a lawyer friend, nobody seems to be able to answer it because they don't work for the FBI. So hopefully old boy will write me back and let me know. But yeah, it's very, very possible that the FBI is not, no, they have her body, that the FBI, that it's not Brian's, that Brian, there's other DNA. I don't know. Oh, no, the family doesn't have her body. Correct. See, a lot of people have said that they don't want Brian knowing. But the news media, everybody sees what's going on. It doesn't even matter at this point because Brian is fucking everybody's judge, jury, and executioner already. They're not telling us because they need certain info that only, yeah, but they know if it's Brian due to DNA. If it was a stranger like Xavier Harrelson's death, where they just found the body, they have no suspects yet, that situation, I absolutely agree with you. And I see that wholeheartedly. But that doesn't apply if Brian's the murderer. They already know Brian's the murderer then. Just put an arrest warrant for him. Like, what are they hiding? I don't get it. And I know that the FBI is quiet and doesn't say much, but there's got to be a reason why they're not saying anything. Or putting out an arrest warrant. They're building a case against him, but in the meantime, there can be a federal warrant for murder instead of just, a credit card fraud. I feel like, and I mean, I don't know. I know FBI is in different jurisdictions, but if you have wanted murder and you're on the top 10, FBI's most wanted, don't you get more people looking for you? Or at this point, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I know the FBI knows more than they're saying. I just don't get why they're not putting out a murder charge. Why isn't he listed as dangerous? Exactly. If he's such a murderer, that's an excellent point. If he's such a murderer, how come they're not saying he's dangerous? How come they're not saying that he may, this was murder? It just doesn't make sense. So, Duty Ron, hold on. I'll play a couple of minutes that somebody sent me. It's only about 6 minutes. Duty Ron, don't strike me. Because, we got that New York City cop thing in common here. All right. Her belongings go to probate. Brian is the most wanted unauthorized credit device user in the world. That's a great point, Joe. And it's not that's another thing. It's not a violent crime. They do not have him for a violent crime. They don't even say he's dangerous. If he killed somebody, okay? If he killed somebody and disappeared, I would say that's kind of dangerous, especially if they don't even have the autopsy from the couple, the two women that are dead, or the guy that was found 45 minutes from Brian. We don't have, I don't know if it's the same police, the same coroner, but how do we know Brian's not a serial killer? If Brian did one, who say he didn't do it all, and believe me, I don't believe what I'm saying right now because I don't believe Brian's a serial killer or had anything to do with it. But I'm just a citizen. I don't know that. I don't know if Brian had something to do with it or not. So if he's charged with murder, then his right to a speedy trial starts, and they don't have enough to convict him. They do if they have a body. Hold on. I mean, if they have a body, they do for sure. Checking Facebook. Hold on. Oh, we got an answer from Brian Enton. Thank you, White Lotus. Hold on. All right. Live in the flesh.
More serious charge in the disappearance and death of Gabby.
All right. It explains why he hasn't been charged. Here we go. That was like one of those things you ask something and boom, somebody comes up with it. You can't ask for more than that. All right, hold on. Let me show you guys this. That was awesome. Can I try it with, I want to be a millionaire. Boom, I'm a millionaire. Okay. Let's watch.
Given what we know so far, many in the public are wondering, why hasn't Brian Laundrie been charged with a more serious charge in the disappearance and death of Gabby at this point?
Well, good evening, Marnie. I think that's coming, but there's always a tension in situations like this between police and prosecutors. There's a lot of pressure on police to find Brian Laundrie and to arrest him. But prosecutors have to meet a higher burden. See, for police to arrest, they just need probable cause. That's not that high of a burden. But for prosecutors, we need to prove cases beyond any reasonable doubt. So we're always telling police in situations like this to hold off on making the arrest. That's why you have this lesser count. That's an easy one to prove, and that can keep him in custody after he's found. But remember, prosecutors not only have a higher burden, but we have rules like if we don't file charges within 30 days of the arrest, then the guy goes free without any conditions until his trial. Also, we have speedy trial rules that say that we've got to try the case in 180 days, at least here in Florida, which is why prosecutors aren't rushing to file charges yet.
I understand. So are you surprised a cause of death?
Okay, hold up, though. She didn't die in Florida. This wouldn't be Florida law. This is Wyoming law. She died in Wyoming. Florida can't prosecute this. So this has nothing to do with Florida prosecution. He's nice to look at, but he's wrong. The Northport police have nothing to do with this. This is complete federal or Wyoming, not Florida. Just because he lives there doesn't mean he can be charged there.
Hasn't been publicly released yet for Gabby?
Well, they may want to keep that a secret until they're able to talk to Brian and family and others who may have information, because it's something that investigators may use where they know the cause of death and they may try to get a witness or Brian himself to say, no, I didn't strangle her. And then all of a sudden, how'd you know she was strangled? So that may not be information that they want to be let out to the public yet. But at least they have ruled it a homicide. There were 5 options for the medical examiner. It could have been natural causes, accident, suicide, homicide, or undetermined. The fact that they ruled it a homicide is the one choice that's good for prosecutors.
David, as you know, the court of public opinion is very different than the court of law. Help us distinguish between the two when it comes to the parents' legal rights at this point. And are they protected?
He is Palm Beach County. Thank you, Tawny. He is Palm Beach County attorney, not Polk County, which is where Brian is, just to clear that up. He's very handsome, though.
Protected under Florida law.
Well, Marnie, the parents of Brian Laundrie, they have done everything possible to incriminate themselves in the court of public opinion. But in the court of the law, that is different, because under the law, to be charged as an accessory after the fact, you need to know that Brian committed a crime, and then you have to do something to prevent his punishment or his arrest. So, for example, if they sanitize the van, now that'll get him hooked for a crime. If they hid evidence, if they bought him a plane ticket to get out of town because they knew he was involved in a crime, then you would see prosecutors getting ready to file charges right away. But we don't have that evidence yet. Right now, we know that the parents remain silent, they lawyered up, and that in itself is not a crime. In fact, the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination applies to the parents and Brian,
Thank
and it can't be
you.
used against them in a court of law.
Even
Thank
though
you.
everybody wants to hear from them, they have that right to remain silent. Brian Laundrie certainly doesn't want to be found at this point. In your experience as a prosecutor, is flight evidence of guilt?
It's consciousness of guilt, and you can use that at the trial. So even though Brian Laundrie has the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, at trial, his flight can come back to haunt him because the prosecutors can point to that. In fact, it's even in some jury instructions. It says that if you flee, that is consciousness of guilt, and jurors hate it when defendants flee. But his silence in itself is not going to be used against him unless he tries to explain that, well, Gabby just walked off and someone else killed her, or she committed suicide, or it was an accident. Well, then if he takes a stand and says that, the prosecutors can say, really? Who'd you call afterwards? Did you report her missing? Did you say anything to anyone? And that's where his silence can also hurt him.
Really interesting. David Ehrenberg, appreciate your time tonight and your insight. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
I love this. Thank you so much for pointing this out. Granted, it's everything I said already, but thank you for pointing this out because, you know, I get the feeling, not that he knows, but I do get the feeling that this is going to turn out in the probable sense. The probable sense is that Brian Laundrie did this. But what's not going to turn out is what all right, let me rephrase that. What I wasn't sure about, because I'm not a cop, but what I wasn't sure about was defined. I didn't know if homicide could be accidental on trial, if homicide, you know, could be part of an accident, but no, he's saying they're completely different, that it's either accidental homicide. But my thing is, how can you not prove that it was accidental? And I think people get confused with what is accidental by the perpetrator and accidental death. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when I hear that accidental, I know my mind goes to, well, what if he killed her on purpose? What if he didn't do it on purpose? Homicide to me is intentional. I don't know if that's the right term, but homicide to me is intentional. But homicide can still be an accident. But I guess from a coroner perspective, homicide just means, I'm sorry, accidental is, did she fall and break her head? Did she fall and crack her skull? Which could still be accidental, but I don't know. I still think he strangled her. I think she died by strangulation, but that's just me. Manslaughter if it was a fight that escalated. I don't know the laws of Wisconsin or federal laws, so that I don't know. Running ends a lot of charges, but it doesn't. But it's funny that he said that, though, because I did pull, welcome, Nelly. I did pull something up that showed, let me grab it. Hold on. It was actually kind of similar to that. And it said, okay, Fifth Amendment right itself is often the right or privilege against self-incrimination. In fact, the most commonly formulated, blah, blah, blah. But it goes in this whole thing and says that, you know, people invoke their Fifth Amendment right, but it can be used against you because of the way a jury thinks. And a lot of people will think, hey, you don't want to talk, which means you're guilty. And at the end of the day, when you're in a trial, who's deciding your fate is the jury. So you want to do what you think the jury is the right thing. I'll give you an example. I can explain this better in an example now that I think about it. Casey Anthony's father. Many in the public eye said that Casey Anthony's father, thanks, Nelly Bug, that Casey Anthony's father did the wrong thing, and he seemed so mean, and he seemed so horrible, and he looked guilty because of his attitude when he was on that stand. I got news for you. That attitude is exactly what lawyers tell you to have on the stand. You don't, if you're ever on a stand, you don't want to be emotional. You want to be as calm and calculated and say as little as possible. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Unless they ask you a question to elaborate or explain. So a lot of people looked at Casey's Anthony's father and thought he must have done these things. He's emotionless. He must have done these things because, welcome back, Jamie. He must have done these things because look at the way he's acting on the stand. Look at the way he's, being. And I sat there, I'm going, but that's exactly what lawyers tell you to do. Lawyers tell you to take that stand and say nothing. Do not offer any information. Do not have facial expressions. Look at me, your lawyer. Look at me. I'll ask the questions. Stay as calm as possible. Stay as motionless as possible. Her father did exactly what you're supposed to do on a stand. And the public opinion of it was he must be guilty. And we know Casey Anthony got off because of it. Partially because of it. Because of his persona, they felt he must be guilty. And it's so wrong. And that's why you got to be careful with juries because you want to kind of play into jury. Is a criminal defense attorney and used to be a cop. Who? Joel Murray? Who's a criminal defense attorney? I'm telling you, it is so true. He was a broken man. Who? Oh, the father? I know. He really was. It was sad. Joel Murray is a criminal defense attorney and a former LA. Really? You want a link? I appear on duty around a police officer. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here. So let me play this piece of Duty Ron. And again, for all my supporters, you guys are going to know, I said this 5 days ago, and you're going to see people do like, oh, well, I'm not going to show you chat, but yeah, people are like, wow. I'm like, oh my God, I said this already. But Duty Ron says it right. So hold on. Where'd it go? All right.
Possible perpetrator or a witness, that's not my job. And I encourage everyone to leave this fellow alone because he seems like to be just an average everyday guy. He didn't have a big following, but now he has over 2,400 followers. Nomadic Trek says, I am not Brian Laundrie. I'm being accused of being Brian Laundrie. And there's a whole bunch of stuff on his Twitter page. So I didn't know about anything about this stuff until this morning. And again, it's not a good look, folks. You'll never find that here. I would never go after anybody. That's me, personally. Talking about me. I'm not here to arrest anybody. My arrest days are over. I'm not here to investigate anybody. I'm not here to go to somebody's house that's a possible perpetrator or a witness.
Now, let me say this about Duty Ron. And he's right. Why? And I said this about Chris when he first came onto the scene. And I think I was talking to Tiffany and Marissa. I said, why is he going to interview the Wells? If he's doing this as a YouTuber, great. But he has no fucking right to. I don't know why people think he's involved in this case. He's not. This is just for views and clicks. It is. I was like, I could go drive there and interview them. But people bought into this bullshit that he was doing something for the case. He wasn't doing anything for the case. He was doing something for his fucking channel. And I said this from day one. People got mad at me. People came at me. People left me. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. How dare I say this about Chris? And I don't mean Tiffany and Marissa. I mean like what other people. How dare I say this? I'm like, this guy is fooling you guys. Like, how do you not see it? And I was so frustrated that people would not see it. And I did. I lost people because of him. And I said, you know what? I'm sticking to my guns. I don't give a shit.
It's not my job. This is my opinions. This is my feeling. I don't need to out anybody. I want to cover the case from a law enforcement standpoint and give you guys an idea of what goes on in an investigation behind the scenes. And I want to bring on professionals who walk the walk and talk the talk. That's where my involvement ends. I don't step over that line. That's me. I'm not saying that
Dawn Marie, tell him not to strike me for playing this.
other people are wrong for doing it. But you should never, ever, in my eyes, go unless you're a licensed private investigator in that state and you are on the case and hired by somebody to do a licensed private investigator.
And Dawn, right or wrong, from day one, I said in Patreon that people are being fooled. Like, just so you guys know, if you're new, like Dawn Marie can vouch for me. I was like, why are people being fooled by this guy? That, you know, he's not working the case. He's not doing anything on the case. Kim too. She could tell you too. I just can't.
Job. Then that's the only time you should be getting involved in things. If you carry a license in the state of Kentucky to investigate and be a private investigator, and someone hires you and you're on a case, you're licensed and you're allowed to do that. But if you're not licensed in a particular state and you're there conducting an investigation, it's not a good look. It's not a good thing to do. So again, these are the bracelets for EquiSearch and they're on my website. If somebody could put the dutyron.com website in the chat, I really appreciate that. Listen, I don't do any of those things. My channel, if you look at all of my videos, none of my videos on any of my live streams will go after potential witnesses or perpetrators of any crimes. I do interviews of law enforcement professionals who can give you ideas of what goes on in an investigation, and you get the real deal here. It's not me just blowing smoke up your you-know-what. If you like that, then subscribe. If you're not interested in that and you want drama, or if you want anything else, then do what you got to do. But go over to my website. All the information on the supporting EquiSearch is here. Again,
Hey, Lacey.
you'll find there's so many different styles out there. But just be careful because, again, mob mentality, going after somebody, bullying somebody online, it's not a cool look. It is never a good look. People, and it's well documented, when people get bullied, they sometimes do very extreme things to themselves. And you don't ever want to be a part of that. If, God forbid, someone takes their own life, do you want to be a part of that? Do you want to be a part of that mob that went after that person and made them feel like they were less than a human being? It's not cool. It's never a good look. And
that right there struck me. And, you know, after he said it, I thought about it, and he's 100% right. Do you want to be on the side of people that make others feel bad about themselves? Because if you do, stay away from me. And I thought it was brilliant, and the way how eloquently he said it, and he is so right. And I just love the way he said that. But on a side note, before I continue playing it, tell me Duty Ron doesn't remind you of the uncle that brings your favorite Christmas gifts and loves you, and then he leaves, and you're mad because, you know, there's Ron bringing us our Christmas gifts. That's what he reminds me of, that uncle. I don't know why, he just does.
I don't encourage. I was so upset when John Walsh went on Banfield or whatever, Banfield, and said, you know, the things that he said about Brian Laundrie. I was not good with that. I respect the guy, but I lost respect for him when he did that. Nobody should go on national television and say, hey, do us all a favor and off yourself, or do this and do that. That's horrible.
I agree. I
and
said that
anybody
days
that thinks
ago.
That's all right, you need to seek professional help. I really was infuriated about that, but I kept it to myself until right now. But I freaking hated that. I didn't like it. I wish he could have retracted.
That's okay, Ron. I said it 5 days ago. Nobody listens, though. But they listen to you.
corrected that and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that." You know, he said, "Oh, we'll save the taxpayer, save the family a lot of grief. Just go out and off yourself." He used those words, "off yourself." That's horrible. Who does that?
I agree.
If anybody supports that, please don't be my friend. I can't be friends with anybody that supports
I
that.
agree.
No good. No good. All right. And there's no way I could sugarcoat it. I am very, very empathetic and very horrible what happened to his son. Son was decapitated and murdered. But it doesn't give you a free hall pass to tell someone to go and take their own life.
Thank you.
I don't care.
See, I said that when people in my chat were coming at me saying, "Oh, but he lost his son." And I was trying to do it, and I was trying to come back at them in a very respectful way. And I just said, "Okay, I get it." But he was able to answer that in a very good way. And so that's why I'm playing this, because he's much more eloquent in his words than I am. And I just love the way he said that, because he's right. And I was dumbfounded when John Walsh said that. I was so disgusted. And he's right. Just because your son died doesn't give you the right to tell somebody to off themselves on national television. You just don't do that.
I care about and I feel for him and his family. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. But it doesn't give you a free pass to go and tell someone to take their own life. That's not good. Not good at all. So, anyways.
And that was it. That was what I was showing you guys. Now, Dawn Marie, make sure he doesn't strike me. He'd be like, "That's it. I'm taking Laura down." No. Keep those opinions to. That's what I'm saying. And, I didn't know how to answer people when they came at me. "Well, if you lost a son like that, you would feel like that, blah, blah, blah." But again, like I said, John Walsh is a TV person. And I wouldn't even call him an actor, because I don't think he's acting. But thank you, Mike. But I do see him as a TV personality. That's a good way to put it. TV personality. And, he's not a police officer. He doesn't do the ins and outs of a cop. He doesn't know what the ins and outs of a cop is. And I find it utterly disgusting what he said. And I could not believe he said that from jump. And like on my video a couple of days ago that I said it with Chris, someone like Chris probably rooted him on. Like, hey, that's great. No, they never did. No, I think they did, actually. They never found the son's body. Duty Ron has many, many years in law enforcement and speaks much more eloquently than I do. And I'll admit that. And I don't have a problem with that. I can learn from that, of how to speak more eloquently. If you guys notice, though, my cursing is getting a lot less. Come on, I want a pat on the back for that. My cursing is really getting less. And if you guys don't realize that, I'm going to be crushed, and I'm going to say F-bomb every other word. But I am. I'm trying really hard to keep the F-bomb out of my vocabulary for the most part. I think I only say it like once or twice in a live stream, and that's completely different than what I've been doing. So I hope you guys take notice of that. Hold on, I missed one. Just because exactly. Just because you think it doesn't mean you have to say it out loud. I agree. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle has noticed. I'm okay with cursing. I drop an F-bomb a lot. And people say you can't do that. You guys, the YouTube Nomadic Trek account shorts posted of a guy's face. Who is that? It's probably him. I always enjoyed it. Thank you, Lioness. Otis O'Toole. Yeah, I believe they did find a killer. I don't remember the first name, but it was O'Toole. Say effing instead. I know, I try. But sometimes it just comes out. Speaking of TV personalities, before I shut down, because I didn't even plan on being on this long, But before I shut down, let's talk about another TV personality named Ashley Banfield. Now, I find it absolutely vile that she brought up Marissa from a Shanann thing, and she wasn't even right about it. Like, Marissa wasn't even on Instagram. That she brought up Shanann and was, disgusted what Marissa did, blah, blah, blah. Are you kidding me? I agree with Marissa in the sense that why is Ashley Banfield even bringing that up? Like, why is Marissa own her like that? When the whole Trent, I was going to say Trent Reznor, but he's from 9 Inch Nails. When the whole Trent story, I can't remember his name. When the whole Trent story, and I apologize to whoever told me yesterday, whoever came in my live, it was either on this channel or the other channel, because I was streaming on three different places at once. I yelled at her and I thought she was lying. I think her name was Summer, actually. Summer April. And I apologized to her that I didn't believe her and I called her a liar. Trent Bolt, thank you. I called her a liar. So I definitely want to apologize to her. If you're listening and you don't hate me too much, I do apologize. It didn't make sense to me because I couldn't comprehend why Ashley Banfield would bring up Marissa from, from what's her name? From Shanann. Trent Bolt, I knew was a liar from jump. I didn't even know Marissa at the time. But like White Lotus, who was a Patreon back then, or no, Tara, could tell you that I thought the whole Trent Bolt thing was complete bullshit. I never bought into it, never believed it, made it very well known on Facebook that I don't believe this story. And I was, again, one of the few that never believed it. So, and again, I didn't know Marissa then. I didn't even know she existed. So she, wasn't the only one that thought the whole story was ludicrous. The whole thing was insane. And it was such bullshit. But Banfield was pretty fucking, Banfield was pretty sure that, she couldn't get enough of it. And I don't know, what got her fired. Obviously, Marissa's not lying, or Banfield wouldn't be such an asshole and brought it up. But for her to bring up this Shanann thing, Ashley Banfield doesn't want things from 3-4 years ago thrown in her face. Why is she doing it to an innocent person? Like, what did Marissa do? Marissa hasn't done anything. So she went to Brian Laundrie's house along with a lot of people, voiced her opinion. She's not sleeping there. She's not, not doing anything. And I just cannot believe that Ashley Banfield made it a point to try to bash Marissa. Like, what is wrong with you? You get paid good money to be on TV. You get paid good money to report. Why are you worried about something Marissa did 3 years ago trying to bash her? That's fucking whack to me. And I'll never watch her again or be serious about her again, because here's why. Brian Enton is going to trust, Banfield. He doesn't know. He's just a reporter. But here's what wasn't brought up. How about the fact that someone in Marissa's community robbed the community of thousands of dollars, and Marissa in 2 lives raised over $40,000 for St. Jude? How come that wasn't brought up? Hey, Gray, I know it's not what happened. That's what I explained. That mass flagging, that's not what it is. And I just want to know. Now Gray threw me off. That how come that wasn't brought up? How come all the positive things Marissa has done isn't brought up? That's what bothers me. You don't have to like Marissa. And I'm not telling people to like her. You either love her, you hate her, you like her, you don't like her. That's fine. That's cool if you don't like her. But the fact that she has done a lot of positive things for the community. That needs to be said too. That should have been brought up too. But instead, now Banfield gave Brian this horrible vision of who Marissa is without the positive. And that's why Banfield is an asshole. And that's why Banfield is disgusting. And that is why News Now should fire Banfield. Just saying. I'm definitely not a fan of the stunts and the laundry home. And I have said that about all the clowns with bullhorns. Okay. And that's your opinion. And Gray, you're entitled to your opinion. Molly didn't hurt anybody. She didn't bother anybody. She didn't she didn't do anything that other people didn't do. She didn't go egg their house or do anything illegal. She went down there like other YouTubers. She went down there and she just happened to say something and, get on TV. And so be it. That's her. Now, I know, Gray, you follow your own word, like you practice what you preach. You don't like her, you don't watch her. Plain and simple. But you don't watch her. You don't claim to watch her. So that's fine. The police are giving out tickets now. Yeah, I heard that. But Gray, I agree with you. There's no such thing as mass flagging. The whole Republican Party did not do this to him. Chris went down, and I said this all in the beginning of my life. Chris went down because Chris tortured this guy on Twitter who was completely innocent, and the guy on Twitter fought back. Plain and simple. This has to do with Chris's own actions is what got him shut down. Plain and simple. And sorry that he's too narcissistic to understand that, but the only thing that got Chris down was Chris. I don't know if he's Democrat. I'm saying that mass flagging can only happen if like the entire Republican Party mass flags you. That's mass flagging. When you have like hundreds of thousands of people going after one video, that's mass flagging. People in this community don't have enough people to mass flag to make a difference. They just don't. Oh, did she, Joe? I see. I don't know that. I didn't know that. But even if she did, that's who she is, though. If you don't like her, you don't like her. And if you like her, you like her. Does she do things I would never do? Yeah. Do I say things she would never say? Yeah. Yeah, not from a bunch of mass flags. Exactly. Chris is a narcissist, plain and simple. I hate to use that word because it's very overly used, but yeah, his ego took him down. Exactly. But if it was natural the first time I recreated, I don't know. I didn't watch it today. I was busy all day. Exactly, Jana. Chris took Chris down. Chris come back from this, Laura. Do you think he's parent? No, he's got his people promoting him on there. You have to understand there's Instagram live, TikTok does lives, Facebook does lives, Twitch does lives. YouTube is just a small part in the big world. I've always said that too. If you lose YouTube, there's tons of other outlets. Not like YouTube, but you can always use Twitch. Twitch is just like YouTube. There's many other outlets you can use. And Chris's people have no problem with what he did. Many of us reported those Twitter videos. It wasn't a plot to get the whole channel removed. That's on Chris. But he's finished on YouTube. Who knows? I have no idea. He may be the type of person that's too big to come back. I don't know. They don't look at us little people. But maybe on a big channel they would look. I really don't know. Rumble is also another. What do you mean Rumble is also another? Oh, I never heard of Rumble. I do multi-stream. I'm on Twitch right now. This is multi-stream to Twitch and YouTube. Not your Patsy sued me for over $1 million. Who did? And then I had a criminal lawyer department, trial lawyers, civil lawyers, divorce lawyers. Who sued you for $1 million? Odyssey does live streaming too. I don't know that one, but I never heard of Rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. YouTube is by far the giant in streaming. It is. Rumble's pretty much free speech. There's another one that's free speech that Sean Atwood started. I tried it, but it's weird. Hey, good vibes. I don't think Chris understands the way it works. Joe, do you want to come on panel? I don't know what we're going to talk about, but hold on. But I was looking to see if there was something else on Xavier Harrelson, but it does not. All right. CM is instant credibility because of his past, which makes people believe his nonsensical things. That's a good point too, Gray. And that's what frustrates me, that I say the same thing these people say way before they do, but they have credibility and I don't. Go figure. I had to represent myself in a civil case and put on the best my cousin Vinny you ever saw. Jury exonerated me. What'd you do? That's what I want to know. Who sued Joe Murray for $1 million? The fact so many believe this crap about that Twitter account. Gray, I said this too. I totally said this too. I said this weeks ago. I just don't get it. And everybody talked about him being, with the summer stuff. That's when I unsubbed him. I said he hasn't done anything. I don't get it. I don't understand why people have fallen for this. He's not involved in the case. He's just going to talk to them like any other YouTuber would go interview somebody, except he's going to them to interview them. I was like, it's sick. I can't believe how many people fall for the fact that they think that, he's got insight in the case. He doesn't have jack shit in the case. He's just a YouTuber. Nobody listen to me. So I give up. Wonder why Mike King has nothing to do with CM anymore. Is that the one from the Profiling Evil or something? It was publicity for his channel, 150%, Monica. 150%. Gray Laura called him out first. I called him out a long time ago. No record prior, 150,000 bail. Damn. He lost me when he said that Dom was in the shed, but didn't look even when given permission. But that's what I'm saying. Like, he hasn't done anything. You can Google anything he's ever told you. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't think I ever watched Profiling Evil. Hey, Kim. He inserting himself where he doesn't belong. Exactly. And my biggest thing was the donations. I asked him, and Gray, I didn't tell you this last night because it was too much to type out. But one of the main reasons I left his channel was I asked him, how much have you donated to the Summer Wells Fund? And the response that I got from Miss Sophia, his mod, or his ex-mod, was he donates his time. Excuse me, nobody told him to go there. If my subs paid me that much I'd go visit them too. I was like, he's making money hand over fist. So don't think that it's his time that means anything. He got paid very well for that time. Give me a fucking break. Oops, I cursed. I said, give me a break. It was like annoying. And yeah. I mean, I think that's why I got an RV, so we can travel. So we could do stuff like that. My channel, because of the freaks, has donated 30. Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. I said, whether you like Gray or you don't like Gray, I thought it was 31. Thank you for the 34. I said, whether you like Gray or you don't like Gray, Gray donates his money. Not all of it, but Gray donates a percentage of his money. And Gray puts in a lot of time. Chris couldn't even do some of the shit that Gray can do. I don't know if people have seen the talent that Gray has. I'm not talking Gray speaking. I'm talking Gray, his replications, stuff he did on Jodi Arias, his animation. I couldn't think of the right word. His animation, that is not easy. And his replications of videos and putting together crime scenes and duplicating crime scenes, that's talent. That's something to be admired for real. Not just, I'm going to sit here and give you my expertise. That's bullshit. You can look that up. You can't look up how to do what Gray does. And yet Gray donates tons of money. Gray, I'm not promoting you. I still don't like you, but we're going there. No. It's true though. And I've always said that. See, you came in late. You didn't see me talking nice about you before. But at the end of the day, it's true. His replications, his animations, I am so jelly because I wish I could do it. I'm too old to sit there and be tedious and learn how to do animation. It's too much. I want to pull my hair out. And Gray reduplicates these crime scenes and, the killers, and it's amazing. Totally jelly. His Jodi Arias stuff was really interesting. Wish I had more time to do them, but haven't had a case where it'd be useful recently. I'm telling you. Gray, let me ask you, how do you think she died? How do you think Gabby Petito died? Gray is a better investigator than Chris. I agree with that. Stickman is what? It's me too. Gray, I'm going to give you a link. Can you come up for a minute and show that Jodi Arias video? You guys got to see this. I was blown away when I saw it. Is Joe Murray? That's what they say, yeah. He does put a lot of time into it. That's what I say. He strangled her. That's exactly what I said. I don't think he killed her by the crib. I think he strangled her in the van to get her to shut up. Gray, can you come up and show that video? I would love to do animation like this. I'd be recreating tons of shit. I just can't. I don't have the talent. That's a true gift. That I don't have. Any of the animation videos that you had, like with the really, really good ones that you had with Jodi Arias, those are the ones I keep thinking about. Well, Joe Murray, you're going to come on my channel too, right? I think he strangled her. I don't think he used a rock. I don't know where the rock came from. I don't think blunt force. I think he strangled her. Like I said the other day, I think they got into a fight. I think he wouldn't shut her up. She wouldn't shut up. And he was trying to get her to shut up. And she wouldn't do it. She was coming at him. And I think he put his hands around her, bitch, shut the fuck up, and strangled her to death. And then realized, okay, I got her to shut up, and now I killed her. And he panicked. And I said that before the second video came out, because now the second video came out, kind of confirmed that he probably put his hands around her to get her shut up. where she was found if she was still alive. Strangled and bashed with a rock. Maybe where she... Why does everyone think she was bashed with a rock? Did I miss something? Gray has a lot of good animation videos. I don't know why everybody thinks she was smashed with a rock. Unless I missed something. People think he used a rock because there's talk of FBI collecting a lot of rocks from the body. Oh. They came up with the homicide quickly for strangulation unless there's ligature. See, that's why I do think that it's a it was said. I don't believe that. I think that's rumor. I don't believe she was beaten to death. Creek had rocks removed by FBI, but that could just be the area. Apparently, investigator leaked that she was beaten to... Yeah, but allegedly. I mean, everyone says they're a psychic, they're this, they're that, and meanwhile, none of them are ever right. I can't do the whole psychic thing. Here, Gray. Whoop. Crime scene forensic team took quite a few rocks from the crime scene. Okay. So maybe he did. I don't know. But I just think he strangled her. Maybe they took fingerprints from the rocks. Blood would spill on rock. That's true, too. Gabby's so small, I could have just put it... Yeah, I don't know. I think he dragged her out. They could have collected rocks with evidence on them. What if her body had begun to... That's true. I don't know. There's a million different reasons. Gray, did you get the link? I sent it to you. I'm sending it to you on Facebook, too. I just sent it to you on message. It takes time to strangle someone that's evil. But I think that's how he did it. That's my guess. DNA is the worst thing I have. I suck at DNA. Making a murder stuff with DNA, I was like, yeah, I suck.
Gray Hughes Investigates joined.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey.
Well, hold on. I got to figure out how do I do the video part of it? Oh, yeah. Is that going to work?
Same
still there?
share screen. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if I need to, can I come in and back out and come back in again, or will that work?
Yeah, you probably have to do this share screen.
Yeah, but what happened was my camera wasn't set up when I first came in, so I don't know if it then re-looked
okay.
through it. So let me just...
Yeah, you can go ahead and come back in.
All right.
I'm obsessed with Maura Murray. I don't know that much about that case. I am still live,
Gray Hughes
Texas.
Investigates joined.
Hey, hey.
Is that working now or not?
I'm still seeing black.
Huh. Interesting. I don't know. How about my voice?
I hear your voice.
Because I went on another, I think it was another channel that was using my camera mic. It was really crazy. Let me just check this camera here. Oh, okay. I can choose something here. Just a second. Use OBS virtual. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Okay. Is it working? I'm kind of like cut off or something. I don't know.
No, you're there.
Okay. So what do you want me to do? Share a screen? I was going to say that John Walsh said that, he beat her to death, talking about Gabby. So I'm wondering if he was told something and he accidentally said that. So that's why I'm saying that, because John Walsh said she's only 100 pounds and Brian Laundrie beat her to death, and he would have been told what happened. And he probably accidentally said that.
You don't think it was just sensationalism?
I don't know. That seemed like sort of natural, like it was just in his mind. That's kind of how I was looking at it. But It, you know, I don't have any proof of it.
No.
I'm just kind of using that, but he did say that, and he is aware because they, you know, he's been around for a long time, and they give him information. And he's not like, so why would he? How did he accidentally say that? You know.
See, I can't see him beating her to death. I don't know.
Oops,
It
hold on, let me
just
turn this
seems
off.
like a
That's what I
far
get when
fetched
somebody's.
theory.
Hold on one second. Let me turn it off. There you go. So you want me to show you the one Jodi Arias
Yeah.
the exhibit. I think that was the cool one, the exhibit one that I did. There it is. Exhibit 167. Okay. So then what do I do now? I hit the.
I think it's the same as StreamYard. You hit share.
Okay. Share. What are you using?
Melon app.
Oh. Can you pop up? You can do everything the same. Pop up comments.
It's way better. Yeah.
Well, you know what's cool is Stream OBS Studio now.
I have OBS.
They have this plugin for Chrome that allows you to do that now. You you pull out the chat. It actually lets you put it onto the screen. It's pretty
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was one of the only reasons I thought, wow, StreamYard does that. That's a cool feature.
I'll have to check that out.
Okay, I understand. Let's proceed.
Yeah, I use OBS when I'm on camera, and then I use this one sometimes when I'm not.
All right, let me pick what screen do I? Okay, there we go, the middle one. All right.
Gray Hughes Investigates joined.
Oh, again?
No, your other screen.
Oh, it said I joined again.
Yeah.
In my ear. All right. Well, here it is. This was the crazy one. Can you see it? Everybody?
Yeah. Yep.
I can't
Full
read it.
screen.
Yeah. So this was what the original photo from trial that came out, and you were during the Jodi Arias case, and it was weird because, you know, we didn't know what you're looking at, but that's Travis's head right there, and then his arm is up in the air, and then that's his foot way down there. That was something that people. Can you see my mouse moving around? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. That's his foot. That's his big toe. The space between it, the little one. So it's just a wide angle lens, so everything got really small. And then this is Jodi's sock right here, her pants going up, and then a zipper. Okay. But I was always figuring out where that location was. And then Juan Martinez, the prosecutor, wrote a book. And he put the clear version of the picture. So then I was able to really dial it in because I made a complete 3D model of the bathroom, very accurate. Like it took me a long time. I kept adjusting it. I would count the number of tiles, and I knew that they were all a certain length, and you know it was crazy. But so, anyways, you want to play? I'll play it. Can you hear it if I play it, or?
Yeah.
All right.
Prove the precise location.
And by the way, I used this crazy computer-generated voice back then because I didn't want people. I don't know what it was. I was like paranoid or something. Okay, so I'm sorry about the crazy, crappy computer-generated voice. All right, here we go.
This video will attempt to prove the precise location of Exhibit 162 presented in the Jodi Arias trial. While it was obvious that the photograph was taken in the hallway with the camera pointed away from the bedroom and towards the bathroom sink area, the precise location was hard to determine because the background was blown out and the details were hard to make out in any publicly available examples. Before beginning the analysis, it's important to know the elements of the photograph. In the original public image as seen here, there has been much wild speculation over the years as to what is actually seen in the photograph. The first thing we notice is the striped sweatpants and a zipper is on the far left. Then we can see Jodi's foot probably covered with a sock. Then we notice the gruesome sight of blood coming over the shoulder of Travis. You can make out the crown of his head as well. Travis's arm is up in the air. You can also see Travis's right foot in the background with a gap between the big toe and second toe. The image was taken at 5:32 and 16 seconds.
You know, I bet you if I just let it play, I can describe it better. Probably. Yeah. So this was it was shot with a camera, and then the camera was actually upside down when it took the photograph. And see how the button's on the top? Somebody just nudging it a little bit, it'll take a picture. And this is what the image looked like originally. It was upside down like this.
Yeah, I don't see what you're seeing.
You don't
Like,
see any? What do you mean?
I don't know. I'm just not seeing like that. To me, looks like a hand, not a foot. Oh, I see the foot now. I see it.
That's way over
Now
there.
I see it.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
It's on the side. Now I
Yeah,
get it.
he's like laying on his back, and his head is propped up against her
Yep.
leg, probably. Now look how clear this one is. This was in the book, and it was a much higher resolution. So then I make it parallel with the grout line, so you can make it out better. Now you can see the sink area in the back right.
Yeah, because he's
Now-
on his back. He's
Yeah,
laying on his
and-
back. Now you can see his arm up.
And
His
see, look
foot
at it. There was actually crime scene photos. Look at that. Boom. Now we know exactly. You've got those drawers and everything. And then look on the wall. Those photographs are exactly the same. Even the sort of the color, everything's the same. And you can even make out the little bit of the mirror. See that? Notice how you can see the mirror just below the window because it's shot at a different angle right there.
Wait,
Yeah, 'cause
that's your real picture or that's your
yeah.
anime?
No, the one on the right, the real one. But in a minute
Okay.
here, I have my actual. So there you go. And then you can actually see the hinges on the doors right there. So I was just kind of pointing out all the different things that you can see. And, because this photograph just was like, wow, it was like a eureka moment to have that clear of an image. And so what I was able to do, see that right there on the ground? There's these grout lines. That shape right there is repeated multiple times in various, it's right there. You'll see it up. Right there. It's the same shape. It's in a whole bunch of different tiles. And as a matter of fact, one time they lined them up 3 times in a row exactly the same, which is really shitty tile work because you got to rotate it to make it look more natural. But you can see right there, 1, 2. See how they all have the same one in the same position?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then I was able to figure out that that's where her foot was in the edge of the next tile. Because you can see the squiggly line still on the ground right there. And so let's see what's next. Yeah, so her foot is in the next tile over, so it's right there, and that means he's lying on the ground, just on the other side of that foot, because it looks like so that's the location right there. So here's the 3D. That was a 3D look of it. So right here, boom, and then if you go down, look at this model that I made. Watch, look at his foot and everything. Watch this. Look how similar this is. Boom.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's exactly the same. It's like 100% the right spot. Everything. I mean, even the the sink and everything. When I was doing this, I was like, oh my god, look how perfect that is. And
the 3D model videos. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. Now right here, look below the foot. See how shiny that is? That's probably
Yeah.
blood right there. Notice it's different shine than the rest of the shine. It's a lot more shiny. The specularity is a lot higher. And so I think that's blood, or it's probably likely blood, just given what's going on with him. And that was it. But that one was so cool because for so long nobody knew. I mean, there's a whole bunch more I've made, like the
show also that you have a 3D animation. I think you recreated the actual killing.
No, I did the one in the shower that was kind of interesting.
Yes,
like this one.
Maybe that.
Yeah.
It's a video.
Yeah.
For
So I'll just move it forward too.
Yeah, this is it. Guys, watch this.
See, these are the photographs in the shower. Like she's taking pictures of him, and then she has him sit down, and then she kills him. I think she shoots him in the head while he's seated, and she tried to make it look like a suicide. by having an unregistered gun, but then everything went to hell when he didn't die from the shot. And, I don't believe anything. Juan Martinez's argument was horrible about how it was the knife first. It was just ridiculous. Yeah, that was one. Oh yeah, the one that you're talking about is the gunshot first. Yeah, there you go. Gunshot first theory. I think that's the one you want me to. That's the main one. This one right here. It's like 9 minutes. I'll move it forward to the.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I just remembered that I made that one. All right, let me just okay. So I'm 100% convinced that it was a gunshot first, but they switched it. Even the prosecution believed it was gunshot first 14 months after the murders, but then switched it because she was going to use that. So I just think she just shot him like that in the head, and you'll see it matches up exactly. So there's like the rod in the head. It would go just below the frontal lobe right there. Boom, straight down. That's exactly where it entered his head. And then it ended up in his cheek over here, like that. And then it said let's see. So Flores, he's the detective. He said, after I get through this specific shit, one single gunshot wound to the right brow, recovered in the left cheek. So there's the bullet hole in his forehead there. And then the initial report from Horn said the gunshot would possibly disabled him temporarily. So he was saying, wow, it wouldn't have killed him at all. It just would have disabled him. Like getting punched like a boxer, you're knocked out.
Yeah.
But everything changed later. They tried to switch it all over to. Yeah. So the wound track traversed the right fossa without gross evidence of significant intracranial hemorrhage. So it's like right there, you're even saying. Although examination of the brain was, somewhat limited due to decomposition, not extremely. It was just somewhat. There was a gunshot wound that didn't have an exit, but there's the bullet in his cheek right there. And then after this, it switches over to the animation. But that's where it entered, and that's where it went in. So you can see, just like that, it's not going to hit very good chance it doesn't hit your brain. It would have been like being punched, though, like knocked out, kind of. Oh, yeah, and this part's crazy. The dura mater and phallic cerebri are intact. That's the leathery film that goes around your brain. So how would your brain get hit if there was no in that? So that's it right there. The dura mater, it's a big, thick, leathery film around your brain. And that's what it kind of looks like. And there was no hole in it. But then what he said at trial was, oh, well, yeah, that was a typo. I'm sorry. But they just changed everything after the fact. Oh, yeah, this is Jody talking about.
Here, on my knees, and his bathtub was right here, and I was taking him here, and I was just going through the pictures, and I heard this loud ring, and I don't really remember except Travis was screaming.
So I believe a lot of this stuff.
He was on all four of his knees.
All four of his knees, huh? Wow.
He was like on his knees like this, doing something like this or something like, I don't know. And I like.
So I think a lot of that's true. Like she told in her lies, she would tell a lot of truth because it's easier to tell. But then she would say it was some other reason that he was on his knees.
Mm-hmm. He was screaming the whole time. He wasn't screaming like a girl. He was just like.
He wasn't screaming like a girl. Now he's. All right, so here's the part. Boom. And then here's more. This is all 3D stuff here. Oh, this is crazy. So there's spot. Now watch this one. That blood was right there. And then there was blood way underneath on the toilet way over there. Look at that. It's crazy. And then right around the side right here, it was dripping. Like he probably stood up and was kind of holding his head going, oh man, what happened? And I think she took off and ran downstairs to get the knife. And then while he was at the shower, not the shower, the sink, holding his head, she came back and that's when the attack with the knife started. Yeah. So he comes over here. Look at all that blood in the sink.
Yeah.
Sprays up, and then she comes and attacks him right now. And then with the knife, and then there's a shell on the ground there on top of blood. So they go, oh, hey, well, the gunshot had to be last. Not really. I mean, you just kick it around on the floor. It rolls into it. Made no sense. Anyways, the rest is just text. But
So you guys see what I'm talking about with this kind of animation. I am so jealous that I could not do this. And I'm the first to admit it. I wish I had that kind of talent. So what my point was, whether you like Gray, you don't like Gray, that to me, I will learn a hell of a lot more than somebody just sitting there interviewing somebody. Honestly, like that was my whole point. Like Gray has real talent. And he takes a huge percentage of his donations and donates them. But what he does, like, that's time. I don't care who you are. That takes time to do those videos. And he does it flawlessly. That was my whole point.
well, thank you for the kind
You're
words.
It's true,
anyway.
though.
Yeah, well, I don't know. This whole thing is just driving me nuts. I just wish, true crime was just taken a little bit more legitimately. And I think a lot of the stuff that's going on just really screws it all up,
But you have to admit, though, everybody has a different way of doing true crime. Like, I've never been one for sensationalism, and I've never been one for going with the crowd. I said this earlier, that, we are innocent till proven guilty. And Brian has already been judge, jury, and executioned. He doesn't even stand a fighting chance in a court of law because the whole public already has him guilty. And
yeah, I think the odds of him being innocent are like 1 in 10 million. It's like not even. It's just that's the thing. Is like that's not the part that's bothering me. It's just like let the FBI and law enforcement track him down and everything. You get these people like Dog the Bounty Hunter comes up there and he's like, yeah, I got this tip. Well, you know what? They already have him.
Nothing.
They have him placed somewhere else later. So to them, it wasn't really that important. Okay, so he's working with like old news. It's like you notice how the FBI hasn't gone over there or the IRS or anything since that because they were already aware of all of this stuff. They just they didn't need the footage because he's already somewhere else later.
Yep.
So it just didn't make any difference. So it's just kind of weird, all the people out there that get so excited about, oh, the dog's on the case. Yeah. Look, I hope he gets the answer. I'll make a photograph of me with a bunch of crow feathers sticking out of my mouth. But I just, I have almost zero faith that he's going to find it.
I agree. I said the same thing. I said he's an actor. I don't care what anyone says. The man is an actor. I don't care that he found someone 10, 20 years ago, 40 years ago. I do not see. He takes tips from the public and his cop friends. Well, if his cop friends knew where Brian was, the FBI would know already. They would have told the FBI. The whole thing is sensationalism.
Yeah.
It's
always weird when you're in these, when I go to these channels, and I've been talking about some of these cases for, I was one of the first people to cover this case on the 14th. Okay. And we were just covering it when it wasn't even, it was just kind of like, oh, wow, look at these people are missing. And then I put together that they were both in that case and the other case of the two lesbian women that were murdered. I covered that case 3 weeks before. So I already had done that one. So I went, wow, the 13th, look at that. They were both in Moab. And I thought, that's crazy. So I made a quick video on that. So on the So Mean allegedly, we just put it out there like, wow, look how crazy that is. They were there the same day. And then it got crazier when we find out that on the 12th, the argument they had was basically in front of the place where one of them, I think Kaylin,
Yeah.
and they were there at the same time. So then it got crazier. It doesn't sound like they're related now, but man, what a crazy connection that appeared to be, but who knows, let's wait and see what the hell goes on later, because they must have stayed in Moab for a little bit of time, and in their van somewhere.
Kaylin's dad, I saw an interview on another channel. Kaylin's dad said that his son was also murdered. His son was 20 years old and went in through his like friend's window or something. And his friend got freaked out and shot him. He was murdered not too long ago. Now, can you imagine both kids murdered? Not just both kids dead, both kids murdered. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was weird. I listened to the mom on an interview. It was pretty interesting, some of the stuff she was saying. That there was these Gatorade bottles, plastic bottles, all sort of right in the river next to them. And then you do think of, wow, Brian Laundrie hates plastic bottles, and then it's, what if they were drinking out of them and he's over there and he's like, oh, screw, who the hell knows? I just think it's bizarre that you have these two other women murdered and Brian Laundrie was in that town at the exact same time. I don't, I'm sorry, it's not like he's Ted Bundy or something.
But, I don't think he had anything to do with it, because the girl said that the guy was creepy. There was nothing about Brian that looks creepy. If you don't know him, he doesn't look creepy.
Yep.
So my only theory, which I think is eliminated now, but my original theory was, who's to say that this killer who killed the girls didn't follow them? Or, was the original person that called in to get them separated so he can then go after her while Brian was somewhere else? That was my original theory. But that's kind of been eliminated because it's looking more and more like Brian did it.
Yeah, well, to me, it's obvious that he did something to her. I mean, to me, it's not like looking more and more. To me, it's always been him. I mean, you've got this, it's just everything lines up. I mean, I wish a lot of people had seen the mapping stuff that we were doing, because I actually circled, then I had this big circle where she would be in the van, and then the FBI released that little park, and then I noticed that the circle overlapped into my circle. Then they were found inside the overlap of my circle and the FBI circle. So it was like this. The van was right in there, and she was found in this overlapping circle. And, the whole part about, the 27th, they got in an argument. That was probably the trigger that, she countered what he did. She went in and apologized. That was just made him really angry.
That's exactly what I said.
Then they fought at the, probably back on the 27th in the van there. I think that's probably when she was killed. And I think it's very possible that he left her in the van. Then he went hitchhiking, trying to he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He was just like, okay, I got to go. And he gets everything together. And then he's like, on the 29th, he gets that first hitchhiking ride that drops him off by the dam, because he passed the road he knew he needed to be on. So then he had to go north. He hitchhikes again, goes north a little bit. And that lady actually drove him all the way to the entrance to the campground on the 29th. So he got back around 6 something at night. Then he walked back to the van. I think he didn't want that lady he said that he didn't want that lady to go anywhere near where he was parked. So he had her drop him off right at the gate. And then he walks all the way down there to the van. And I think at that point, he needed to, well, there's two different theories. Had he moved her body on the 27th across the creek after he killed her that night and then hiked on the 28th, then he knew he needed to get back to move the van so that the van isn't so close to where she is. Okay, but it could have been on the 29th. He gets there, and then he takes her out of the van. When he finally got back, moved her, then he kept her cell phone, texted his mom on the 30th before he left town. Then he ditches his cell phone, her cell phone, and then he drives back the 2,500 miles all the way back home and had her credit card and got cash at various places be able to fill that up. I think it's just obvious that he did it.
See, my theory was almost identical to yours until the hitchhiking. And I made this last week that I also believed he killed her on the 27th. I also believe that he was enraged due to, they had this big fight and she went in and apologized. He got mad at her.
Yeah.
That's the day she died. But I never really believed that hitchhiker story.
Yeah, they're totally valid. Yeah.
I know. I just never bought into that TikTok because I'm like, why would he leave? Why would he need to hitchhike when he had a van? And where'd all of a sudden he get $200 from? Did he go
Because
to
he probably killed her in the van, and then he just thought, God, I gotta get out of here. He just didn't know what the hell he was doing. I mean, you can tell he's all over the place. And then he thought, here's the crazy part: is on the 27th when that van is filmed later in the evening. Okay, so that's the 27th, and then he disappears, comes back on the 29th. She could be dead in that van right there, but on the back, there are 2 stickers, and it ends up where when he comes back home, there's 5 on the back. So he actually put those stickers on after the 27th, and I think it's possible he was trying to make it look like
it wasn't her
van.
van.
The van was going to California because that's what the stickers, one of them was in California. And that would have been towards like Yosemite. And so that was an idea that he had. So he put them on. He's like, screw it. I mean, you could just tell he didn't know what the hell he's doing. He just wanted to get home to mommy and daddy. That's what he wanted to do later. He just was messed up. He knew he had no way out. And he just drove home and wanted to be with mommy and daddy. And that's how he wanted.
What do you think of his parents?
Oh, I don't know. They're just shitty, But
would you have? But we don't know what he told them.
Well, yeah, I don't know, but I mean, it's just they seem like they're not really wanting to help too much. I think, although it's not stupid on their part, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't make you think highly of them. But anyways, I'm gonna go do mine. I didn't mean to. I was gonna do my show like about 30 minutes ago, but I thought, hell, I'll come on and show the
thanks, Greg.
Stuff. Come on,
Greg's going live, so everyone could go over to Greg because
with a little bit. I don't know when it'll be. I gotta get it set up and stuff.
All right. Well, sub up to Greg. Greg's going live shortly.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. Yeah. Thanks for coming on. I'm very impressed with your animation. I always have been. That to me is impressive. That to me is something I'm way jealous of. But that is, if someone's going to say that they're donating their time, that to me is donating time. I know how hard that is and how much effort that takes to recreate, and even just editing videos sucks. Editing videos takes hours.
Yeah, those
animation.
They take a long time. The one I made in the Libby Nabby case on the bridge, that one that took like a week.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it's crazy. But yeah, well, thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. I'll see you later. Bye.
Go out and kick some ass. All right, see you. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Yeah. So that was my whole point, though. That I was just showing that, that's what Miss Sophia had said, that, oh, well, he donates his time. And I was like, that's fucking bullshit. And that was the last time I left his membership. I left Discord. Actually, I got kicked out of Discord for it, but I left everything because of it. Thanks, Lacey. So I don't always get along with Gray. Me and Gray have our moments. He calls me dumb just like he calls everyone else. But at the end of the day, I will still never take away from him his talent or the point I was trying to make. And yeah, the Gray's not for everybody. He's not. Just like I'm not for everybody. But if, like I said, if someone's going to tell me that they're donating time, that to me is time. Because I know how hard it is. Thanks, Lisa. And I've had Gray up a bunch of times. Thank you, Joe. Life is dark, accept that. Things will get easier if you do. I'm not going to be easy. He is very talented. Thank you. I like that. You're going to get highlighted for that. You're my new bestie. So I am going to get down though. I've been on way longer than I ever expected to be on today. So I still have a bunch of stuff to do tonight, but like I said, I wasn't around today. So I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you for new members. What else? Thank you, new members. Thank you, new subs. Thank you, Monica. And Dawn Marie, don't forget, tell Duty Ron, do not strike me. And Joe Murray, you got to come on one night. We'll put together a show because I have tons of questions. I like lawyers. Can you maybe collaborate? I collaborate with Gray. When do you want us to collaborate? We've done a couple of things together. Thank you, Tracy. Joe, anytime. Hit me up. Leave me a comment with the way to contact you or email me, or even I could get your info from Duty Ron. I can get it from Dawn Marie to get it. You should do more often. Well, he's hooked up with Chasing Truth now. They have a channel together. So, all right, guys, I will. You're fine. He won't. Thank you, IMO Chidoro. Thank you, Mike. I think I am. My voice just isn't heard enough. That's the problem. But one thing I have learned from Gray, though, honestly, and I was talking to Chasing Truth about this a couple of days ago. One thing I've learned with Gray is slow and steady. And I've watched Gray's channel from when I started watching him go from like 22,000 to now he's at almost 70,000. It's not based on one case where you see people, you know, with these exorbitant numbers. It is definitely slow and steady. And that's something that I liked about Gray too. Slow and steady always wins the race. I would love to hear from an attorney on how they defend certain clients. That's a good question. Guess who is live blaming other YouTubers? I have no idea. There's a lot of people. Oh, you're a New Yorker too, Joe? Woohoo. I like my fellow New Yorkers. I was a Queens girl, born in Queens, raised in Queens. Then my parents moved out to Long Island. Like, you know, the rest of the Jews from New York. The rest of the Jews from Queens move out to Long Island, buy a house. I know I do. A lot of people tell me that. I'm on camera a lot. I just didn't do it today because I was working on a car. But Joe, I will definitely call you and we'll set it up. Because I know a lot of people. I was Little Neck and Forest Hills. And then moved out to Suffolk County. That's right. A little Jewish girl. But anyone from New York knows that that's just what Jewish people do. They move to Florida. They, you know, started in the city, then they move out to Long Island, and then they move to Florida, South Florida. It's just the way it is. I went to Sachem. Graduated from Sachem. I'm not going to give you the year because I'm old. But Sachem graduate. So, and that's it. So I will see you guys tomorrow. And Joe, I will definitely call you because I can tell you a lot of people they have questions for lawyers. And unfortunately, I'm not a lawyer, but they do have questions for lawyers. Oh, no shit. You were my neighbor. I had a very good friend that went to Smithtown East, and he ended up committing suicide Mother's Day of 1997? 97 or 98? I don't remember. Nomadic Trek. What about Nomadic Trek? See everyone next time. Absolutely, Kim. I'm going to be a Patreon as soon as I give the kids dinner. The boys are probably starving to death. You graduate 84? Oh, you're older than me. I graduated 88. So now I don't feel so old. I think you say like you were born in 84. Because, you know, I got to stay 35. Sage's friend, though, I asked him how old I looked the other day. He said 35. I said, yes, that's my age. So, all right, I will see you guys later. Joe, I will definitely give you a call tomorrow and we will hook something up. All right, I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful night. Peace. And thank you guys for the super chat and new members and new subs. I'll see you guys later. Bye. My brother's NYPD. He's 24 years on the force now. Yeah, 24. So, all right, I will see you guys later. Joe, I will call you later tomorrow. I can't say that on YouTube. I'll tell you when we talk. He's in Queens, though. I'll tell you that much. So, all right, I will see you guys later.